Good morning, guys. It is finally time for the best car show in the world, the Quail. One of the main events and reveals at Quail today is from Lamborghini, an all-electric crossover SUV that I can't wait to see. Apparently it's a concept car, but it's foreshadowing what's to come in 2028 or 2029. The Urus Performante over here, then we've got the Huracan Storado, and then under the wraps here is the new car they're about to reveal. I believe last year or the year before when they were unveiling a car, they had a sheet that just blew off the car. So they've put 2 layers of protection on this one so that doesn't happen again. And then we've got the new Revuelto, the replacement to the Aventador. And look at that, 2 of the greats from Koenigsegg, the Jesko, and its beautiful attack form, and then the Gemera. This is such a cool car. Imagine having a family 4-seater hypercar, and they just dropped the bomb that they're coming out with a V8 version of this with even more horsepower. In addition to the tiny giant 3-cylinder, they're making a 5-liter V8 version with 2,300 horsepower. So we didn't get to see this one the other day at the Zenvo house. This is the tour version with the 3 electric motors and 1,850 horsepower. It's cool to see them next to each other because they actually have some serious differences. The rear end is entirely different. There's some different aero on the side. As you'll notice, it doesn't have that extra blade right there. And even the front end is slightly different. I think it's awesome that it's not just a wing delete, it's actually got more power and entirely different design. But I think Zenvo did such a phenomenal job with the new Aurora and that quad turbocharged V12. It doesn't get much cooler than that. We got to take a look at this Singer at Goodwood Festival of Speed, but man, does this design language not get old. That is just ridiculous. I can't even imagine what this is like to drive, and look at that engine setup. It even has part of the windows. We are over at the Pagani area now. The Zonda R, which still might be my favorite, if not in my top 3 favorite cars of all time. This one was actually on Top Gear and set the Top Gear test track record. They've actually got a livery on the car itself. Look at that. Nürburgring time of 6:47 and the Top Gear record at 1 minute and 8.5 seconds. And then next to it, the new generation race car, the Huayra R. When we saw this run at Goodwood Festival of Speed, it might have been the loudest car at the entire show. And then we have a Utopia here. That's the newest generation of the Pagani Huayra, basically the replacement to the Huayra. Look at those aero blade wheels. The looks of it are still growing on me. The interior, though, is absolutely wild. And of course, it is a manual transmission, which is super, super cool. The front end is just, well, it's different. And then we've got the Huayra here and the Zonda. So 3 generations of Pagani all next to each other. I absolutely love the Zonda. This one has HP on the headrest, and look at the rear wings. The rear end of the Huayra R and Zonda R, I love the white exhaust. Just looks so crazy. I believe that's gonna become a trend for sure. Look how open the rear of the car is. You can see all the way into the suspension and a little bit of the engine as well. And then the back of the Zonda R. What do you guys think? I think maybe I like the rear of the Huayra R more, but definitely the front and the side of the Zonda R. So this is something that nobody was expecting, the Mustang GTD, which is essentially a race car for the road, 5.2-liter supercharged V8 making 800 horsepower and has active aerodynamics, wide body, tons of carbon fiber, and a $300,000 price tag. Akrapovic exhaust. First time seeing this in person. It's honestly really, really cool looking. Obviously, $300,000 for a Mustang is a heavy price tag, but it's got the performance to back it up. What do you guys think? It looks pretty savage, and I think it looks significantly different, obviously, than a standard Mustang. So hopefully, well, I'm sure it's already sold out. It'll obviously justify the price. Some pretty cool accessories here. Look at the suspension setup. That is really cool to see. The brakes and that active wing. I'm probably not gonna press these buttons, but look, It's got a max downforce button and a DRS button to show how the wing itself works. Look at this, the newest iteration of the Apollo IE with its naturally aspirated screaming V12 and sequential gearbox. This to this day, I think, was the craziest car I've ever been a passenger in, blasting down the Autobahn in Germany. And this design is even crazier than the one that I rode in. Look at the taillights. Crazy. I mean, it looks like something literally out of Star Wars, for lack of a better term. That triple exhaust right there. The aerodynamic work on this car is truly unlike anything else. And it really looks, I mean, this might be the most extreme looking road car that has ever existed. Those headlights too, with the X shape, it's just out of this world. They crushed it with this car, honestly. Look at this, the evolution of the supercar. We've got the Bugatti Veyron that I happily just reviewed. Next to it, the Zonda Revolution that we heard at the Protective Film Solutions meet. My ears are still recovering from this car. A beautiful Morgan. Then the original designed Apollo IE, so you can juxtapose that versus the newer designed one over there. Fully exposed carbon fiber. Now this is something you don't see very often. The 110, a special edition version of the Chiron that had a base MSRP of $9 million. Look at those gold wheels. Some extra bodywork compared to the standard Chiron. I believe Cristiano Ronaldo actually has one of these, which is pretty darn cool. Those taillights are spectacular. Look at the intricate design and that stacked exhaust. And we've got another one of my favorite supercars, the XJR15. These are underappreciated in my opinion. And then look at that, I didn't even notice another 110 in a more subtle livery, I should say, but nothing about the car is subtle. I mean, look at this. That is absolutely insane. And then look at this all silver and black spec. Looks like they left the front lift up on this. Oh my gosh. And then the Ford GT and a slew of Carrera GTs over here in a bunch of different colors. I mean, this is a ridiculous array of cars. Let's go ahead and go down this lineup one thing at a time. We've got the beautiful Porsche 918 Spyder. Next to it, a McLaren SLR Roadster, GT4 RS, 720S, gorgeous Diablo. Look at this. Is it Diablo GTR? I actually don't know exactly which Diablo this is. It looks like a GTR, but different. Look at the trumpets on the roof. I don't know if those are intakes or horns. Wow. That is crazy. And we've got a gorgeous Murcielago and a Countach. And then this, you don't see very often. What's up, Christine? You don't see Christine's very often, that's for sure. One of a kind. Just like this Gallardo that basically paved the way.
Did you compare me to a car?
I just compared you to a one-off Lamborghini.
Aw,
yeah.
That's actually sweet.
So this actually kind of paved the way for the Monza SP1 and SP2, the Elva, etc. Such a cool design. I first saw this at the Lamborghini factory. I love the fact that it's split into two cabins here and has these basically micro windshields that I'm sure do effectively nothing, but pretty cool to see.
That's what we need
for what? So
just
we could
to be separated.
Beautiful 599, interesting. There's a car under a cover here. A couple of awesome Aston Martins. Look at this, two different 177s. These are absolutely spectacular. All right, well, there aren't two, there's actually 5 177s in different specs. And I believe there's only 77 of them, so that's a pretty good representation of the 177 lineup. We've got the Aston Martin Speedster, another windshieldless car with a V12. This has got to be insane to drive. Thoughts on the Quail so far?
Just can't wait to eat the ice cream.
Full exposed carbon fiber Hispano Suiza with 1,114 horsepower, 0 to 60 in less than 2.6 seconds. We got to see this go up the hill climb at Goodwood as well. That design's wild. Look at this. First time seeing the Aston Martin Valour in person. absolutely stunning based on a one-off that they made, now into a production version. And then they've got the DB12 convertible, going to be driving the DB12 for the first time tomorrow, actually. So very excited to get behind the wheel, and a beautiful DBX as well. Cool showing from McLaren. We've got the 750S in the middle, an old race car, and then right here, the McLaren Solus GT, the orange one we saw at Goodwood. Looks like they took the covers off now on these spectacular Gunther Works convertibles, but there is still one in the middle that has yet to be revealed. So Ruf is unveiling a couple cars here at the show. They're doing their press conference right now. Look how cool this is. Windshield. Well, actually, it's got two mini windshields.
Here it is, shown for the first time today at the Quail, a motorsports gathering, the 2023 Ruf.
Three absolutely insane new cars from Ruf. They just unveiled this for the first time ever as a celebration of Porsche. This is so stunning. Three uniquely different, strikingly different cars for different purposes. I was gonna say this has no windshields, but it actually has little mini windshields and a separated cabin. I love the plaid seats, manual transmission. This has got to be absolutely unbelievable. The R Spider. Then we have the CTR3 Evo. That has got to be fun to drive. And the Ruf Tribute. Look at this, the guys from Hennessey have come in full force with a whole bunch of F5s and F5 Roadsters. This, I believe, the Revolution, the track-focused version, an F5, look at that, F5 Roadster, every single different spec. Pretty cool to see all of these at the same time. Now we saw this car in Ohio with the Triple F collection. That is pretty awesome.
Buongiorno, buongiorno signore e signori, and welcome to Lamborghini. But we're already planning the next step. We're looking forward into the year 2028, and by doing this, we will have the first electric car, which will be an add-on, so maybe a new model, an additional model, and model number 4. And today, I'm going to show you what this car could look like. And now I'm asking on stage Ruf Moore, our Chief Technical Officer, and Mitja Burkhardt, our Head of Design. Please, guys.
There it is, the new all-electric Lanzador.
Thank you, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lamborghini Lanzador. Even if it's a concept car, we are naming this car after the name of a fighting bull. So it's the best Lamborghini tradition. This bull fought in the arena of Madrid in 1993, and it was named the best of the show, the best of that day. And if you look at the car, you can see something which we had at the very beginning of Lamborghini, because the first car we launched back in 60 years back was the 350 GT. It was a two-door 2+2. And this is a two-door 2+2 car, but with a higher seating position and with more ground clearance. So it's really the blending, the best out of two worlds we have put here together. And also in terms of body style, it's completely new, because if you look at the design, it's clearly recognizable as a Lamborghini. We have here the cab-forward design. We have the signature line, which is stretching all over the car from the beginning to the end, and very typical for Lamborghini. When you see the glass, we call it in our technical language greenhouse, it's very square, and this is very typical for Lamborghini. So these are the elements that you can clearly recognize a true Lamborghini. Now, 5 years before the car is hitting the market, it's a bit too early to speak about technical details. But I can tell you that we are working on active aerodynamics, we are working on torque vectoring, and we are working on all the things which are going to be innovational with the electric era coming up. But one data I want to give you, at least this car will have 1 megawatt when it's hitting the market.
Here we go. First look at the Lanzador all-electric Lamborghini concept. It's kind of a crossover, a little bit shorter and lower to the ground than the Urus, but still with plenty of ground clearance. Over 1 megawatt of power, which means 1,360 plus horsepower. Look at the design of the wheels. I'm excited to see the future of Lamborghini as it makes some fully electric vehicle. As noted by the ALA symbols on the car, it's going to feature active aerodynamics as well. Kind of similar taillights to the Sion and the Countach. Enormous rear diffuser for an SUV. And look at how wide those tires out are in the bodywork. Well guys, what do you think of the Lanzador, the newest Lamborghini and the 4th model in their lineup? Well guys, there you have it, the all-new Lamborghini that is fully electric with over 1,350 horsepower. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next video.